Foreign Service officers and other staff members at the State Department and at U.S. embassies around the world have been bracing for massive budget cuts, as well as steep reductions in foreign aid, as global development expert George Ingram told VOA.
What I've heard is the cuts are likely to be in the nature of 30%. That the original OMB proposed cut was 37%, and that the Secretary pushed back and said, don't do 37% in the first year, phase it in over 3 years, and that what we're likely to see is a budget cut in the range of 30%.
Human rights and humanitarian aid groups say the impact on refugees and other vulnerable people around the world would be devastating, as Odote Akwai told VOA via Skype.
Civil society organizations, governments, I think are all extremely concerned about not only the withdrawal of resources or the cutting of resources, but I think they're also concerned about the vacuum left by the absence of the United States as a partner, as a generator of innovation, of creativity, and also, of course, as a voice on human rights.
But some analysts say the State Department is a bloated bureaucracy that would benefit from cuts. Former diplomat James Roberts spoke to VOA.
So I think there's plenty of room to reorganize, to make the State Department really a better, more efficient, more effective player as representative of the American people, a player overseas, because it's going to have a simplified lines of authority, and where money will be spent, it'll be spent better. And yes, there will be cuts that will also have to be made as a result of that.
George Ingram also worked as a senior staff member on Capitol Hill. He says Congress will not go along with such steep cuts to U.S. foreign aid and diplomacy.
What we've seen in the last month is a bipartisan outcry from members of the House and the Senate that a drastic cut to the international affairs account is unacceptable. So I think you're going to see some real pushback by the Congress this year.
The global fight to defeat the so-called Islamic State would also suffer from drastic budget cuts to U.S. diplomacy, says one Republican senator.
I want the committee to understand that any budget we pass that guts the State Department's budget, you'll never win this war. As a matter of fact, ISIL will be celebrating.
President Trump's budget will likely be the focus of fierce debate on Capitol Hill in the months to come. Cindy Saine, VOA News, State Department.